Hello everyone, and thank you for joining us today for EIT InnoEnergy Master School Virtual Open Day. My name is Anna, and I work for EIT InnoEnergy Master School Marketing Team, and I will be your host for the webinar today. So the idea of the event is to have several speakers from EIT InnoEnergy Master School and our partner universities sharing information on a specific topic, and hopefully after those presentations you will have a bit more of a taster, more of a feel what life as an EIT InnoEnergy student is like. Now, because we do have a lot of presenters today, I will jump in to our first speaker, Professor Dr. Frank Gillen, who is also Education Director at EIT InnoEnergy Master School. Professor Dr. Gillen will discuss our philosophy, and he will also tell you why EIT InnoEnergy Master School is a unique study destination. Now, while Professor Dr. Gillen is setting up the slides, just a small side note from my side. If you have any questions for Professor Dr. Gillen during the presentation or for any of our other presenters, please type them in the Q&A box, because what we will do is after all the presentations, we will go to the Q&A session at the end of the event. Now, this is it from my side for now. Professor Dr. Gillen, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Anna. So good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of you joining us from all over the world. So yes, my name is Frank Gillen. I'm the Education Director of InnoEnergy, and I will take 10 of your minutes to explain what makes the InnoEnergy Master Program so unique. But let me first explain or talk about what we do at InnoEnergy. And you probably know that InnoEnergy is the leading engine for innovation and entrepreneurship in sustainable energy, and that we are also the world's largest accelerator in sustainable energy. Now, we were founded in 2010 with support of the European Commission as one of the first knowledge and innovation communities, the so-called KICs of EIT, and EIT is the European Institute of Innovation and Technology. Now, when I show this picture, there is no need to ask you why you should join EIT InnoEnergy, because the sense of urgency should be dripping from your screens by now. Climate change is everywhere, it is happening today, and we no longer only hear about it, but we also see it, and unfortunately we sometimes feel it. So the question today becomes rather, well, how can you contribute to stop climate change? How can you have an impact on this? And I'll answer to you.
Sorry, this is Anna. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I think we're having a small issue. We can't see the slides on the screen at the moment. Can you please try to share the slides again, just to make sure that they're displayed correctly? Yeah, perfect. Now, yes, now we can see it.
And do you see the slides, or do you see the?
We see the slides and the side notes.
No, so that's the wrong one. Let me just stop this. I don't know why this is happening. Sorry for that. Just a moment. Do you see them now?
Yes, perfect. We can see them now.
And I go in presentation mode again. Yes, so this is good. Okay, so this is the one about the climate change. And then when we come to what is really expected from you, well, then question we want to ask you is, how can you have an impact? And what we typically say is, well, make sure that you acquire the skills and develop the right attitudes to lead the world towards sustainable energy solutions faster and sooner. And I do want to emphasize those two words, faster and sooner, because they will come back several times in the presentations. But to achieve this, to have this impact faster and sooner, you have come to really the right place, EIT InnoEnergy, because we accelerate the sustainable energy transition by, first of all, investing in startups human capital and innovations, but also by bringing together the three actors of the knowledge triangle in the energy sector, namely industry, research, and higher education. And this is what we call our KIC, or knowledge and innovation community, or trusted ecosystem. Now, this InnoEnergy ecosystem includes more than 300 startups in we have invested, and 400 partners across the world, and not just in Europe. And it is at the heart of everything we do. So as a student, you will learn from our ecosystems in many ways from the first day that you join us. Because our startups and our industry partners tap into our student community for top talent. Sometimes it's for company projects, for internships, but also for competitions and challenges, and finally with top jobs and careers. So this ecosystem is truly our active learning space, where you take up responsibilities and work side by side with experts and practitioners while you are studying. So this is what we call faster and sooner, because you will have the impact from day one, and not only after you graduate, as simply we cannot afford to wait for 2 years more. So by joining InnoEnergy's Master School, you will not only attend the best universities and business schools in 2 or 3 European countries to learn about the most advanced subjects in sustainable energy, but you will also have the opportunity to directly apply your newly acquired knowledge to solve real-world challenges together with our startups and the companies in our ecosystem. And this picture about students working on a floating offshore wind project with one of our startups, Principal Power, and EDPR, one of our corporate partners, tells you the entire story. To understand offshore wind, you do not only have to know how a wind turbine works, but you also need to experience what it means to be offshore when the wind is blowing at force 7 or more. So when you join the InnoEnergy Master programs, you do not just come here to get a degree. You will have full access to the unique expertise of our partners in all leading domains of sustainable energy. And this is not just the science and technology part, but we really cover every dimension of the energy transition, including energy markets, financing, regulations, business models, and innovation. For short, any subject that impacts the energy transition. You need to understand every aspect that can slow down or accelerate the energy transition to have that right impact. But the second thing is that we also want you to share our passion for innovation and entrepreneurship, because we truly believe that those are the driving forces for the sustainable energy transition. Innovation and entrepreneurship is our DNA, and it's embedded in everything we do. And as a student, you will have the opportunity to experience it firsthand during the innovation and entrepreneurship journeys, which are part of every master program we offer. And finally, we want you to join us on our mission of transformation. The sustainable energy transition changes everything. And to change everything, we need everybody, including you. So you should become one of the mad men or mad women who will lead this transformation in the future, because our planet counts on you. Now, of course, comes the question, why come to Europe for this? And we have one answer for you. This is the European Green Deal. The European Green Deal is the strategic agenda of the European Commission. It is Europe's man on the moon project to make Europe a climate neutral continent within 3 decades. And this is a daunting task. But to meet the climate goals of the Green Deal, we will need hundreds of thousands of new jobs. So this is really your opportunity to become a pioneer in the Green Deal and the green recovery. And recent research has shown us that to meet 2030, we need roughly 1 million new jobs, and by 2050, it will be 3 or 4 million. Add to this the Green Deal related skills needed in other sectors than energy, such as transportation, construction, industry, and agriculture, and the number could even double or triple. So there will be plenty of opportunities. Now, another reason to come to Europe is the fact that Europe is truly leading in sustainable energy. And I usually use this slide as a quiz when I talk about energy innovation in Europe and ask participants if they know those innovations for the transportation sector. And most of them don't know them. And that's why I wanted to put them here, because even though we are not building a Tesla for $25,000, years ago we started Formula E with companies like Audi, Porsche, and Jaguar, which is the future lab of the electric vehicle industry. We have built an airplane that flew around the world several times on solar energy and batteries. And we have a vessel that is traveling world oceans on 100% renewable energy. And we even create unicorn companies that build flying cars. So this is really where you want to be. If you want to be part of this, join the InnoEnergy Master Program, and we will guarantee you that you will have a lifetime experience with impact faster and sooner on the sustainable energy transition. So thank you, and if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer now.
Thank you, Professor Dr. Gillen, for an interesting and thorough presentation. We will now go to our next speaker, Javier Arias, who is a Senior Marketing Manager for Education in EIT InnoEnergy. So what Javier will do is he will talk a little bit more in detail about Master School and the programs that we offer.
Thank you very much, Anna, and thank you very much, Frank, for the introduction to what EIT InnoEnergy is all about. Let me just make sure that you can see my screen properly. So perhaps, Anna, could you confirm, do you see my slide as full screen?
Yes, Javier, we can see you, and we can see the slides as well.
Okay, brilliant, perfect. Thank you very much. So now that you are aware of what EIT InnoEnergy is all about and why we're here and what our mission is in terms of the energy transition in Europe and worldwide even, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about our master school and what it means to join one of our programs. So in general, as Professor Gillen was mentioning, we have a network of startups who are based across Europe. And not only startups, but also industrial partners. So you can see here at the center of this slide, a map where you visualize all the startups that are part of our network. And why do I have this here? Because we put this at the core of our programs, basically saying, okay, you're going to study with top partner universities, for example, KTH and K11, whose representatives are here today, and they're going to tell you a little bit more about their institutions. But you also not only connect with the best universities in 2-year programs where you get double degree, but you actually connect with industry, with the industry that EIT InnoEnergy can provide you with. And this is only possible because we're not an education provider, we're not a university, but we're actually connecting all these players, industry, startups, investors, innovators, and talent like yourselves. So it's all about developing your technical, professional, and business skills, so that you can succeed in the energy transition, which is at the end of the day, our goal and our purpose. So if I go a bit deeper into the master school per se, we have, let's say, 3 pillars. We have an academic pillar where we offer 8 master programs, which all of them are double degree programs, 2 years, where you study 1 year at one institution, one country, and another year at another one. That's part of the deal, let's say. So these are international programs at least 2 countries. It might be more than 2 countries because some programs have courses that you follow in a 3rd or even a 4th country, perhaps. We grant you access to the best technical schools and universities and business schools, and we offer unique learning methodologies. Then on the second pillar that you can see here in the middle, innovation and entrepreneurship journey, which is courses that you get on top of your academic degree. This means that you're going to study also business, innovation, entrepreneurship, teamwork, so a bit of a combination of soft and hard skills, but on the business topics, right? So these can be courses at ESADE Business School in Spain, or at TU, the accelerator of TU Munich, or Grenoble called the management. We have missions to major European events and cities. Depending on which program you follow, they vary, but overall, you get to be exposed to this industry that I was mentioning at the beginning. We have field trips, company visits as part of this innovation journey, and we have special courses and trainings that we know are in high demand by industry. For example, data science or project management, which are courses that can help you stand out from other competitors in the labor market, let's say. And of course, we do company speed dating, which I think Grace from our Career Center can tell you a little bit more about later on. And on the career pillar, which is the third one that you see here on the right, we have real life cases, we have challenges with industrial partners, we have exclusive career opportunities within our network, and that means that we have a dedicated job portal where you can get jobs, internships, part-time, full-time jobs, and so on. Again, our Career Center will present more about this later on, but it's very important to know because many students want to, gain experience while they are studying with us, and that is possible because we support them in this sense. Finally, we have a career impact program that you're going to hear more about later on, and we even offer an accelerator program for students who want to start their own company. So what are our programs offered? We offer them in 10 different countries across Europe, and these are all the institutions that take part on our programs, as you can see here. Many of them are highly recognized, highly ranked, recognized by, for example, being amongst the top 25 business schools in Europe, or the most innovative universities in innovation and engineering, but also for employability. So you have a vast set of options. Today with us, we have representatives from KTH, Graduate Institute of Technology in Sweden, and K11 in Belgium, who are going to tell you a little bit more about what it is like to study at their institutions. And just for your information, I told you we have 8 programs, and 5 of these programs are offered at either or both of these institutions. The first 3 that you see here on the top, the Masters in Sustainable Energy Systems, Masters in Renewable Energy, and Nuclear Energy, are offered only at the KTH from these 2, plus other partner universities, of course. And our Masters in Energy for Smart Cities and in Smart Electrical Networks and Systems are offered at both. So that means that you have the possibility to do 1 year in Sweden and 1 year in Belgium, for example. Quickly to walk you through what it means to join our programs in terms of admissions. What do you require to join one of our master's programs? You need we check your academic background, and you need to have a bachelor's degree, most likely in engineering, in an engineering field such as mechanic, electric, mechatronics, chemical, and so on. It can also be some students from science background, like physics and so on, depending on the program and which courses you have followed in your undergrad. We look at your study success, for example, GPA and your academic score. We do require an English proficiency test that can be a TOEFL of a score above 92 or an IELTS of 6.5 with a minimum of 5.5 on one of the sections. We look at the reputation of the university that you graduated from, for example, rankings, and we look at whether you have any experience, and experience, I don't mean work experience, but more like contact or affinity with innovation and entrepreneurship. And there we make an assessment of all these variables, and we rank students based on how they score on all of these fields. So that's how we select students for our programs. When can you apply? We're actually opening applications shortly. That is starting from next week. Next Monday is the first round of applications. We work with rounds. We have 5 rounds, and every round has a different offer of, for example, which programs and which institutions are available when you want to apply. So we encourage students who are interested in a very specific location, a very specific university, to apply early, because it might be that it runs out of spaces, like KTH and K11, which are very popular amongst our programs. But in any case, if you're not ready, you're not able to apply in the first round, you can apply later on from starting from 28th of September until the last round is on the 13th of June to start the programs, of course, in about a year, in September in 2021, between August, September, and beginning of October. If you are interested in applying, you can start your application process by visiting apply.innoenergy.com, where you can create a profile. You don't need to submit everything at once. You just start your application process, and once you're ready, you can submit your application for the programs that you're interested in. You can apply to 2 programs in the rounds 1 and 2, and you can apply only to 1 program for the rounds 3, 4, and 5. And you can apply several times if you were not accepted in the program that you were interested in, for example. Finally, investment. Of course, studying with us is an investment in your future. And because it provides an invaluable network, as I was saying, it's not only the academic part, which is really good, of course, from our universities, but also the network that InnoEnergy brings towards this, and all the additional training that goes into the innovation and entrepreneurship topics. So this means that we require a participation fee for all students of 18,000 euros per year, starting for the students starting next year. This doesn't include accommodation, so you have to, of course, finance your living expenses separately, but it does include everything that has to do with the activities that take place in the programs. So, for example, for the Masters in Renewable Energy, you're going to study at, say, KTH, but in the summer, you're going to do a course at ESADE Business School in Spain that, of course, after COVID situation gets settled, you will travel to Spain and there you will follow classes face-to-face at ESADE Business School. The cost of that travel and that accommodation in Spain is covered. There's no application fee, so if you're interested in applying, don't worry, because you don't have to pay us. There is, though, a 250 euro registration fee. Once you have been accepted into the programs, you are required to confirm your seat by paying this fee. And we do have some partial waivers and full scholarships available. The number of full scholarships is limited, to be quite honest, but there are some for the best students. And we do have partial waivers worth 8,000 and 13,000, meaning students will have to pay 10,000 or 5,000 euros instead of 18. And these are also granted as part of your application, so you don't have to take any additional action. So I think that's it from my side. But of course, I'll be happy to take any questions that you may have towards the end. Please remember to place them in the chat on the right-hand side of the screen. And yeah, thank you very much for joining us today. And I pass it on back to you, Anna.
Thank you, Javier. Thank you for a good overview of the Master School programs and Master School in general. Now, as I have mentioned to you earlier, we will also have speakers from our partner universities. So I'm excited to present to you our first speaker from KTH Royal Institute of Technology, Magnus Lindqvist, who will share with you why you should study at the Stockholm Technical School in Sweden.
Good day. Hello, my name is Magnus Lindqvist. I hope that everything works. If you can see my screen and that you can hear me. Maybe Anna, could you just confirm that you both...
Sorry, there was a problem. I was muted. Yes, we can see the screen perfectly and we can hear you well as well.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much. So it's a pleasure to be here today, and I'm very grateful to both Anna and Javier, and of course InnoEnergy, to have this opportunity to present to you our university. So I'm an international coordinator here at KTH, and I mainly work with the recruitment of students and marketing of the university, and also involved in the exchanges that we do with partner universities around the world. So, KTH Royal Institute of Technology, we have mainly three objectives to offer to you as students when you arrive to our university. We would like you to have a master degree of the highest international standard. We would like also that you acquire innovative thinking and an entrepreneurial mindset during your time here with us. And you can have up to 2 years in one of the world's safest and most livable cities. And this, of course, depends, because some of our students, they're only here for 1 semester, others they're here 1 year, and some they do a full 2-year master degree program. I'm going to actually start by talking a little bit about Sweden, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about Stockholm, and finally I will go more into detail about KTH. So please let me see if I can start the video here. It's a short video that we have about overview of Sweden.
Thank you, Magnus. Can everyone? Magnus, is there anything else you wanted to add? Sorry.
Sorry,
Okay.
It was just a technical complication. Now I hope that you can see my screen again. So I hope you see this slide where we have a map of Europe, and as you can see in the top north of Europe, that's where Sweden is located. And some might say that we're outside of the civilization,
Sorry,
but yeah.
I don't think the slides are sharing at the moment. I cannot see the slides.
Sorry.
I think you need to share them again. Perfect. Yes, we can see it now.
Yeah, sorry for that. Anyhow, yeah, so I'm talking about the map of Europe, and you have Sweden in the top north. And even though it looks like we're outside of civilization in Europe, it's actually a quite cosmopolitical country. We have cities like Stockholm, Gothenburg, and Malmö, which are very international indeed. We are quite territorial-wise, we're quite a big country, but we are only 10 million inhabitants, so there is quite a lot of space that you can enjoy. Sometimes you say that the north of Sweden is the lost wilderness of Europe, and you can also see here in the north with the snow and the mountains, so it is indeed very wild and untouched. And then of course the Nordic light is also one of the magic that a lot of tourists come to visit here in Sweden. We are very strong in gender equality. That's something that we push very thoroughly here. So in the video you saw some branding, and it was not our intention to do some hidden branding, but you saw maybe notes of IKEA, H&M, I think, Spotify, Skype, and so on. This are actually a reason, and that's because they're Swedish companies funded and developed in Sweden, and some of them have also spread across the planet, so they are multinational. For our part at KTH, we're very proud to say that we have people who funded and organized and started Skype and Spotify. They actually, some of the funders, they studied at KTH. Yeah, so let me go into Stockholm a bit. As many of you might know, it's a very innovative city, and it's also, of course, the capital of Sweden. Stockholm is ranked the 12th safest city in the world. So this means that 24 hours around the clock, you can enjoy the city, even though, of course, I mean, we have our share of problems as anyone else, but it's quite a relaxed and an open city. It's the 12th most livable city in the world. So in general, people are very comfortable and happy here. So when you come and study in Sweden, and especially then in KTH, we try to help to find accommodation for everyone. We cannot always, we can guarantee for non-European and non-students, while for Swedish and European students, we always try as much as we can to help students from this region to find accommodation. But there's something that we think is very important, that you feel that we try to support you in this regard. So I have here another video about KTH, but it's also on the KTH webpage. I think if you would like to see some more pictures and views from KTH, you can just enter the webpage and you will see this video there as well. So let me talk a little bit about KTH in particular. So we're the #1 technical university in Sweden. We are also one of the most internationalized universities in Sweden. So we have the highest number of international students of engineering and technology on our campus. We were established in 1827, and the Royal King of Sweden is our guardian. So King Carl XVI Gustav, he is the protector of the university, and that's also why you have the royal in the university name. We have around 30,000 students and 2,000 PhD, 310 professors, and quite a lot of staff. As you can see on the right-hand side here on this slide, you have actually the library. We're quite proud. We have done the recent years quite a modernization of the campus. It's a very old campus from the beginning of the 20th century. That's where we moved to the campus where we are today. And then in the library, as you can see, is actually the courtyard. They will put a roof, a glass roof on top of it. And here you can see a little bit the layout of our campuses. Of course, you have the city campus where you have the courtyard and also the library I just mentioned. Then most of you who are interested in the InnoEnergy programs will be located on the main campus. It's a city campus. And then we also have campuses a little bit around, spread out around the city, satellite campuses. So in the north, where it says KTH Kista, we have our telecommunications and the computer science faculty. And then in the south, we have KTH Flemingsberg and KTH Södertälje, who have a lot of biomedical technology and medical engineering, very closely located and cooperating very intensely with the Karolinska Institute, which is another in Sweden, who is also very pronounced in the field of medicine. So we had some pretty high-level visits to KTH. In 2013, we had the honor to receive Barack Obama. We have also had Stephen Hawking, I think it was in 2015, to come and have some, he came to participate in some webinars and seminars about space. So yeah, we are very open to this kind of international delegations, both high level and peer-to-peer in different fields of science and research. KTH is ranked among the top 100 in the QS World University Rankings, and we have some faculties in particular who are doing very well in these rankings, as you can see here. We in Sweden and at KTH, we adopted to the Bologna structure that I think that most of you are familiar with. We have a 3 years bachelor's degree, then you add on a 2-year master degree. And if you would like to continue after that, you can also stay for a 4-year doctoral degree. Most of you will visit us through your master programs. So the structure there is that you will do a degree project, 3-semester theoretical and practical coursework, and the last semester will be a 1 full semester of project where you write your own thesis. Yeah, so we have around 60 master programs given by 5 schools of faculties. Some of them are, of course, what you are mostly interested in here today, the InnoEnergy or the EIT programs, the KICs, that we also are very, very happy to host here at our university. And as Javier mentioned, for us, it's a very important integration with other universities around Europe, where we can offer different modules, specifically highlighting innovation, entrepreneurship, sustainability, and digitalization. So just to show you very quickly the outline of the faculties, or as we call it, the schools at KTH, where the 60 programs are distributed among these faculties. But I would like to highlight 2 faculties, and that's where we have the InnoEnergy programs. So there is no relation why we we put them in these faculties, but they are also cross-disciplinary, so you will be involved with a lot of the faculties of the schools that we offer here at KTH. You can see some of the InnoEnergy programs here in energy for smart cities, nuclear energy, renewable energy, and smart electrical networks and systems, which are all part of the InnoEnergy offer. And then in our industrial engineering management school, you have the SELECT program for those of you who are interested in environmental pathways for sustainable energy systems. All of these programs have a very high integration with our modules and programs for entrepreneurship and innovation management. So you will all, of course, get training in that. The structure is very focused on lectures and group work in Sweden, not only classroom education, but teamwork, laboratory work. And we like a lot to do different kinds of projects in groups where you present them in small groups and classes during your education. We offer, of course, arrival service when you start. And we also have the KTH Entrée, which is supporting with counseling, health service, and support for students with disabilities, or if you just need to ask something where something is located around the campus. Yeah, Javier mentioned the admission requirements. We have the same. Of course, for our programs, some specific requirements, but in general, it's exactly the same as for the InnoEnergy. And when you apply for InnoEnergy, you go through the InnoEnergy admissions process, the portal of InnoEnergy. Yeah, for our own programs, we have a tuition fee of a full 2-year degree of $34 US. We also offer some scholarships that you can find on the webpage. But in this case, as Javier also mentioned in his presentation, you have other options through the InnoEnergy offer. Yeah, a little bit very briefly about the employability. So most of our students, they get employed after the studies. It's a very high percentage of students who get work directly after or even during their studies. And as you can see, we have some of the biggest companies in Sweden are also the one who are the biggest employers of KTH students. And a lot of our students do the thesis project at one of these companies. So it's a close integration and relationship between KTH and these companies. Most of them on this list are strategic partners to KTH. So that will be good to think about when you start to design your thesis projects, that you could actually be doing a lot of you will do it at one of the companies in Sweden. Yeah, finally, I would just like to say thank you and leave you with some information about social channels or media channels where you can interact with us more directly. You have our Facebook, our Instagram, our Twitter account. We also have students ambassadors, which you can find on the webpage, which you can ask directly, interact with them, and they are open to receive any kind of questions regarding how it is to be a student or how it is to be at KTH and what you can study. So I would like to say thank you very much for your time, and I hope that you will visit our webpage and that you get some more information about KTH. Thank you very much.
Magnus, thank you so much. Thank you for a great presentation of KTH and giving us a bit of an idea of what it's like living and studying in Stockholm as well. Now, our next speaker is from Belgium, from KU Leuven. Please welcome Peter Halen, who will present to you what it's like to study in Belgium and what makes KU Leuven Europe's top research university.
Hi everybody. Thank you for the introduction. As my colleagues have mentioned, you will be receiving a quality education if you choose one of the InnoEnergy programs, and I'm here to let you know how KU Leuven is contributing to the success of the program. I hope you can see my screen. If not, please do yell out. This is our university library, like KTH. We are very proud of our university library as well. Okay. I'm going to start off with some facts and figures about KU Leuven. Because as KTH, we are a highly ranked university as well, ensuring that the InnoEnergy program is a high quality program as well. We are currently ranked as the most innovative university in Europe. We are 7th worldwide, the first non-American university in that list. You can use this information as you please, but for us it means that we are the university that will help you if you want to make a contribution to society, which is obviously one of the reasons you want to choose for the InnoEnergy programs. And apart from that, we are really highly ranked in all other university rankings as well, both the research as the academic orientated programs, as you can see here. As mentioned, the highest ranked university in Reuters' most innovative universities list outside of the USA. And we at KU Leuven and Imperial College are the only two non-American institutions in that top 10. KU Leuven is a rather big university. We have over 55,000 students, of which over 10,000 are international students. So you can be sure that once you arrive here in Belgium, you'll receive an international education, and there's no need to learn Dutch or French or whatever language to get by in daily life, because in the streets, when you go to the shops, when you go to the bakery, you can always get by just using English. And you'll have no problem finding other international students either, because Leuven is a rather small town. There's actually more student housing in our town than other people living within the city center. So there's over 55,000 student rooms, and there's around 35,000 people living within the city center. There's some more living in the Leuven suburbs, but I guess you won't find student housing there. We are a comprehensive university, which means that you can study everything at our university. So for you as InnoEnergy students, that means you will arrive in an interdisciplinary environment as well, which I believe will only enrich your student experience. So these are our international programs. We offer 4 bachelor degrees, which is not relevant for you, obviously, but we offer over 68 master degrees in English. We offer over 100 in Dutch, which just illustrates the fact that we are a complementary university offering programs in every field of study. And this is Belgium. It's located within the heart of Europe. It's easy to go to all the main European cities from here. It's also really easy to come to Belgium, as most international airports have direct access or direct planes to Brussels. And the Leuven campus, the Leuven city, is actually located a mere 20 minutes away from the airport by train. And it's also only 20 minutes to the city of Brussels, maybe half an hour to the other main Belgian cities. And this is like a brief preview of the city. It is a medieval city. It is not that big, as mentioned. There's more students than other people living there, so it's a university town. The people are used to just having students around. You'll find students everywhere, student bars, student restaurants. So in my non-objective opinion, it's very good to live here as a student. But feel free to check it out on Google yourself, or ask on Reddit or whatever. I'm sure you'll find some people who want to testify about living here. We also have some student ambassadors. You can ask them any question yourself about living and studying here in Belgium. As mentioned, in international university, we also have exchange programs. We have agreements with universities all over the world. So yeah, there's that. And these are this is the student body of our international students. As you see, we do receive obviously a lot of Chinese and Indian students, but also a lot of Americans, Russians, Brazilians, which is good to know, obviously. Okay, so if there are any questions about living and working in Belgium, in Leuven, feel free to ask here on the chat, or after the presentation. If you still have any questions, you can also contact us, for instance, on Facebook. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you so much. Thank you for telling us a little bit more about KU Leuven and the opportunity that it has to offer. I just wanted to let all the attendees know that we're currently receiving a lot of questions from you. We are trying to answer the questions as we go along, and we will, of course, cover the questions at the Q&A session at the end of the webinar. But just so you're aware, if you're not receiving the answer straight away, that we are going through the questions in order. Now we will move on to our next presenters. So this team is probably the team that our students the most familiar with when they join EIT InnoEnergy Masters programs, and this is because this is our career center team. So we have Grace van den Bogaard and Marloes Witschekruid, and I'm really sorry for my pronunciation. I'm very bad with Dutch names, but So the ladies of the Career Center will share with you how they support the students towards landing a job of their dreams.
Okay, let me see if I can run this as smoothly as everybody else has been doing. I hope you can see my screen.
Yes, Grace, we can see it.
Okay,
And
good.
we can hear you well as well.
All right, perfect. Okay, well, great. Well, as said, I am Grace, and I am a part of the Career Center team. So together, oh, looks like something's not working correctly. I hope it's working now. Right, so
I think it's just
no?
loading. We can't see the
Okay.
presentation at the moment, though.
Oh, now it says. Oh, I lost rights. All right, let me check it again. All right, let me know if you cannot see the screen because I can. I hope you can as well. So as said, no.
Grace can only see. I can only currently see your webcam.
Oh, that's weird. It says that I am showing my screen. It says that I'm. Right. Well, it constantly stops. I'm sharing my screen and then it looks like I'm losing rights to share. It says paused. This is weird.
We did see it briefly when you tried to share it.
Yeah, and then
see it's loaded now. We can see it. It's just not full screen mode.
Okay, let me try and see if I can make it. Well, as soon as I press full screen, it says screen sharing is now paused.
Perhaps try the slide mode at the bottom. Is that working?
Yeah, for me it is, but sorry for this.
No, there's no problem. Technical issues. No, we can't see it. Just a moment. Perhaps I will try to share the slides on my side. Okay.
Yes. So you still don't see them. No, no one sees your screen. No, as soon as I try to share it, it stops. It just says that it's not possible. So let's try. I can just tell you when to go to the next slide if it works from your side.
In just a moment, it's loading. One moment.
All right. Oh, sorry. I thought we tried it and it worked, but
can everyone see my screen?
I can see it.
Perfect.
All right, good. All right, let's start again. So my name is Grace, and as you can see on the next slide, I am a part of the Career Center team, and the Career Center team is me and Marloes Wichinkruid, who is the manager, the human capital manager, and we get support from Harsha. Harsha recently graduated as one of our select students, and he supported us during his second year part-time. And in short, within the Career Center, we try to help you find jobs, help you find internships, and help you prepare for the labor market. And as a coordinator, I'm responsible for the services that we provide and for organizing our career-related activities, which I will further discuss in the following slides. So in the next slide, you can see an overview with several facts about your life after graduation. And as you can see, I hope it's you can read it well. Our students end up in various companies, in various jobs. Most of them stay in Europe and find a job within Europe. And as you can see, we have 12% even that starts their own startup once they are graduated. And Javier mentioned this in his introduction briefly as well. We have a sidewalk program which you then can sign up for, which supports innovation, innovative ideas, perhaps a startup that you already have and want to further develop. And in the best case, if you have a good case, a good startup, it might even lead to funding from us. And as you can also see on the slide, we are working together with several companies. We have 250 startups connected to InnoEnergy. So of course we work with them, and of course we find internships and jobs, and we promote this exclusively for our students. But you can also see companies such as ABB, Nordvolt, Tesla, and we have recently held a matchmaking event 3 weeks ago, and so Vattenfall was one of the attendees, for example, and with our career impact challenges that we will organize next month, we have McKinsey, for example. So the companies know our students quite well. They are quite used to hiring either for internships or for entry-level positions. So my advice for you would be, once you started your master program with us, to get in contact either via us or directly with these companies to see if they would have an opportunity for you available. And in the next slide, you can see the support that we have, that we provide for our students. It's all exclusively for our students, and of course, no costs. So we basically focus on the best preparation and the best connection. And looking at the best preparation, we provide webinars, not only focusing on how you can find an internship or a job, but also things that you need to focus on with writing a CV or having a job interview. You can practice job interviews even if you want to have a real life practice, or if you want to have an automated video that would help you practice your job interview, that's also possible. And we provide the Career Impact Program. I will further explain it in the following slides. But looking at best connections, so we have a community. Marloes will explain you more about this. It's not only is it a community physically, but also virtually. And we have a job board on this community platform, but we also have a group, the Career Center group, where we provide more information, extra tips or extra options, internships, jobs, etc., that we are able to find. We also have, I recently just said it, the local matchmaking events. So every location and we are having students, we provide the matchmaking event so the students can get in contact with our startups, with our ecosystem. And of course, due to COVID-19, we had to change a bit as well, but we're creating most of it virtually, and we're having the same amount of companies attending, the same amount of students attending. The only difference for us now is that it's all virtual, of course. And last but not least, we also organize Career Impact Challenges yearly. We do this together with ENLIT. They were used to be called the European Utility Week. And we bring 100 students to their event where they solve real-life challenges from companies such as, we had EDP last year, E.ON, Vattenfall, McKinsey, and also this event will be organized virtually this year, and next year we will hope to go to Milan again in November. So as you can see on the next slide, I already briefly mentioned it, the Career Impact Program. It's a 12-month coaching program, and we started in 2017 because within EIT InnoEnergy, we wanted to help people with great ideas that could have a positive impact, and we wanted to help them understand how they are able to make an impact within an organization. And the GC Index has this as a vision, and that not everybody is a game changer, but everybody can make a game-changing impact. And we have collaborated together with them to make this tailor-made program for you guys, and to learn how you can get the maximum results within an organization. And on the next slide, I think that it has an overview of, great, thanks. It has an overview of what will be containing within the program. And it is a 12-month program as set. So you will start, once you've started with your master program, you will take the GC Index assessment. And the assessment basically looks at your skills and the proclivities. Combining those two together, it shows you how you can make the best impact within an organization. And once this is set, you will take an impact awareness assessment, and from both of those results will be discussed in your first consultation and your first coaching session, where you'll be discussing the outcome, but also how you can well, focus on the skills and make them even better, or perhaps see how you already have a creative mind and see how you can use that within an organization. So it's, as I said, tailor-made, it's personal. You'll have 8 coaching sessions where you'll be discussing the outcome or our 5 learning objectives that we have set. And every learning objective has a short video as an introduction, and then 5 more videos to help you understand the proclivity, help you understand what you could do if you are, as you can see on the screen, if you're, for example, a game changer, a creative mind, how you could best behave in certain situations, how you could work together with people who might be less creative but have more of a strategic mind. So it has a lot of tools that will support you in learning how you can make an impact. And at the end, we will close with the impact evaluation assessment to see your growth for the last 12 months. And the last slide, I wanted to share some feedback that we've received from alumni when they joined our events, such as the Career Impact Challenges with NLIT together, but also the TBB that they have supported our startups, for example. And here's some feedback on from our recent graduates. And I think the next slide, I would like to give the presentation to Marloes.
Thank you, Grace. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, perfect. So yes, as Grace told, we are running the Career Center together, but we also have a team within the human capital team within InnoEnergy, who is responsible for our InnoEnergy community. And I would like to tell you a bit more about that today. The community is actually empowering our InnoEnergy students and alumni to organize activities and events around sustainable energy topics. And they are doing that in most of our master school university cities across Europe. And in each of those locations, we have a local team. And the total community has currently more or less 2,000 members. And each local community has a local community manager and a local team of volunteers who are organizing all kinds of meetups to get inspired, informed, and listen to the latest knowledge within the sustainable energy network. Unfortunately, due to COVID-19, everything is currently online. But we are looking at all kind of options within the Corona rules per a local team. What are the options to organize things physically? And every now and then that's possible, but of course the rules change every week in every country, and we try to follow them the best way, of course. So all InnoEnergy students are invited to join the community and hopefully will be active within the community lifelong. So when you're an alumni, we still invite you for our events. You can either join or organize local events at the place where you will be living, or we also have events for the community at the central level, so to say, at the European level. So some examples of local events are the Stockholm Welcome event, for example, or the Eindhoven barbecue, and other examples of online events which recently have been organized is a webinar about battery storage and smart grids, or an introduction to the new European battery system by one of our partners, Nordvolt. We also recently had a webinar by one of our alumni about green hydrogen in energy transition. So one of our alumni is currently working for Vattenfall and responsible for working in the hydrogen team. And she is then together with our students organizing a webinar and then trying to find all InnoEnergy students and alumni who are experts in hydrogen, sharing their knowledge and starting a discussion. Yeah, you will learn and be inspired immediately in these kind of sessions. And of course, we also have the central organized community days every year. And for 2021, we try to organize those days again. Of course, we are a bit uncertain whether this will happen in a physical way, but we hope it will be possible. And then usually our graduates and alumni are going to a central place in Europe, meet each other again for a couple of days, and organize nice, inspiring activities, have dinner and drinks together, meet each other again. So that's always a great event to look forward to every year. Then next to that, you can also read our monthly newsletter or read or join the community post, which is our online magazine, full of interesting insights written for and by members of our community. And what Grace already mentioned is we have our online platform where you can create your own profile, share knowledge, start discussions, ask for input from your fellow, from your classmates or your peers, or the ones who are joining the same master program as you do, but then in another location. You can create and attend events at the platform, and of course find our Career Center job board there. And we are currently working on setting up a mentorship program, and this is something our future students will be able to benefit from. So if you decide to join the InnoEnergy Master School, make sure to connect with the community immediately when starting your first year. I think it can be a great additional benefit to what you already will get during your master's programs anyway. So it's a very engaged group of people with the same ambitions and the same dreams to make the world a bit better. And in the end, we all hope to work on achieving our goal to change the game in the energy sector. So that's the big objective, of course, of what the community is trying to achieve with all the people, with all the members, not by itself, of course, but connecting with the whole InnoEnergy ecosystem. So I think that's it for now. And yeah, over to you, Anna.
Thank you, Grace. Thank you, Malush. What a great overview of the opportunities that actually the students have and the opportunities that are available while students studying with EIT InnoEnergy Master School. Now, we thought it would be a great idea to have a panel discussion with our students and our graduates. And we have Mark, Stephanie, and Emilia who have kindly agreed to participate in it today. So perhaps to start off, I can ask everyone to introduce themselves and provide a little bit more of a background about yourselves as well. So maybe we can start with you, Emilia. Hello, Emilia.
Can you hear me now?
Yes,
Yep.
we can hear you. Perfect.
Sorry, I was muted. So as Anna said, my name is Amelia, and I grew up in the US, but my family was from Poland, and I wanted to go back to Europe for my master's education. So I did my first year at KTH in Stockholm, and I am now starting my second year at KU Leuven in Belgium. And I'm in the Smart Electrical Networks and Systems Master.
Perfect. Who wants to go next? Mark, maybe you?
Yeah, I can go. My name is Mark Genet. Nowadays, I'm doing right now I'm doing a PhD on data science in the energy industry at the UPC in Barcelona. I joined InnoEnergy on 2017, I think. I did my first year in KU Leuven, second year at UPC of the Master of Energy for Smart Cities. And well, right now I'm working at a research center at the UPC, doing my PhD, and at the same time designing a new subject called Moonshot Project.
Super, thank you, Mark. And then that leaves us Stephanie.
Yes, can you hear me clearly now?
Yes, we can hear you perfectly.
Okay, so hello everyone. My name is Stephanie Rawi. I'm from Indonesia. I'm currently the InnoEnergy master student for renewable energy. I had my first year in KTH, Sweden, and currently I'm continuing my second year in École Polytechnique, France. So I had a great time when I was in Sweden, and right now I'm continuing my second year in France.
Perfect. Thank you, everyone. Well, I prepared a list of questions from my side, and I think this is something that would be also interesting to the students who are thinking about applying to the programs next year. And I think to start off, because obviously we have 14 technical universities available, and we know that the university choice is a big decision. Now, I know that all of you studied either at KTH or KU Leuven, or in some cases, both of the universities. So perhaps I was thinking that maybe you can share a little bit what kind of helped you to make your choice. So what drove you to choose a specific university to attend, and were you happy that you attended the university as well? Who wants to start?
I can kick us off. So I was in the Sense Master, so I was required to go to KTH the first year because all first year Sense students go to KTH. But then for my second year, I had 4 options, which were TUE Eindhoven, KU Leuven, UPC in Barcelona, and Grenoble. And I chose KU Leuven because I was interested in doing a PhD after my master's program. And KU Leuven offered a year-long thesis. So I'm actually starting my thesis right now in September, and I'm going to be doing it until June. In comparison to the other universities, which only had a thesis like next semester in the spring. So that was my reasoning.
Yeah, maybe I can go now. And first of all, I would like to congratulate you for your decision, because KU Leuven is a great university. I did my first year in there, and well, I took my decision because I've been studying in Barcelona for all my life, so I already knew what was studying in a big city. I had to choose between going to Stockholm or Leuven, and what I saw is that Leuven is like, well, you are living in a city, but actually you're living in the university. All the city is built around the university, so everything is really cool. The lifestyle, well, everyone there is super young. Everyone speaks English. You can meet people from all around the world. So I really valued this a lot. And also it's a really good university. I think it's in the top of every ranking. I didn't care about this, but at the end, now actually I care a lot. So yeah, congratulations, and I would recommend you all to go to KU Leuven, but also KTH is a good university.
Thank you,
Yes.
Mark. So real student town, student university. Stephanie, what about you? What
Yes.
drove you to KTH?
Yes, so the main reason is because KTH is located in Sweden. As we know, Sweden is the most innovative country probably in Scandinavia or Greater Europe, and they're very advanced in terms of renewable technologies, not only in their industry but also in day-to-day life. Like sustainability is part of the lifestyle from Swedish people, and also the same like Mark told us, it has a very international vibes. They speak perfect English everywhere, and it's very helpful people there. And what I like the most is and make me very happy to study in KTH is because it has a very mature curriculum for my program. Especially most of the classes that I attended not only based on the textbook, but I always have a projects or even tools to equip me with my future career. So some of the classes itself has some programs that is delivered and created by the professor itself. So it's very great experience for me to learn from its expert. And that's why I really like to study in KTH as well on my first year.
Thank you, Stephanie. And the next question that I have is a bit of a double question, I would say. So because obviously I know that Emilia and Stephanie, you're both right now in full-time education, but Mark has already graduated. So I guess, Mark, the question for you, in what way did master school support your career path? And maybe the question for Emilia and Stephanie, because you are currently studying, maybe you can share with the students who are thinking about applying to the programs next year a little bit more about activities that you involve with outside of the university, outside of the lecture hall.
Well, should I start with this?
Yeah, why not, Mark? And I think it would also be really interesting to know about the project that you're currently involved with, because you mentioned Moonshot, so it would be quite nice to find out more about it.
Yeah, actually, I think my case is a little bit strange because when I finished when I presented my thesis, I went on a trip to Colombia, and while I was in Colombia, I got a call from Andreas Samper, who's a teacher, a professor in the UTC, and they asked me to join them to start working for them, designing this subject. So actually now I'm working for EIT, so of course EIT has contributed in my career path. But apart from that, while I was doing the master, I got the opportunity to meet a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of people working in really innovative companies. So now I have a strong network in which I can support too. And actually, this is really cool because I'm designing this subject called Moonshot Project, in which, well, it's a project subject in which the students will have to tackle huge problems, 30 years from now problems. And to design this subject, I can profit from all the network that I built during the EIT years. So I'm really happy for that.
Thank you, Mark.
I think even though I'm studying, I would echo actually similar to what Mark said is the network and the connections you make, because in like the InnoEnergy program, you're just exposed to so many different, I guess, opportunities with different different universities for your 2 years. I also got very involved with the community, and that was a really great way to meet people from like outside my personal master program, other masters. And I think the people aspect was really been one of my favorite parts about the program.
And if it is for me, when I was in KTH and InnoEnergy, I participated in organizations. In KTH, I was in Engineers Without Borders. So I was exposed to meet the other engineers in the school itself. Also, like Emilia and Mark told us before, it's very feasible to meet new people and network, and thus there's a lot of competitions you can attend as well. For example, when I was in Stockholm, I attended the Stockholm Hackathon, also the COP23 before, if I'm not mistaken. Also, from the KTH course itself, we have a lot of school projects and visit For example, I went to solar plant in Morocco from one of the KTH course. Also, we are able to come to the Stockholm Stadthaus to find a lot of projects there. So it's beyond the classroom for sure. So it's very good experience.
Yeah. Also, I would like to add that something special for the EIT masters is the innovative mindset or the entrepreneurship that they try to teach you, because this is something new, I believe, and most of my colleagues now are in some positions in the innovation department or in the business creation department. Is something that all my bachelor colleagues that did not take the same path as I took, they are working as a full-time engineer, nothing related to innovation, nothing related to business creation. So I think that's also something cool.
Thank you, everyone. So it sounds like networking and the innovation entrepreneurial aspect is very important to all of you. And I'm also very happy to hear that, you know, even though both Emilia and Stephanie are in full-time education right now, they're also involved in so many activities outside of the classroom too. Now, just because obviously I'm sure you all have received also questions from students that are coming in who are asking you about the programs of what it's like to study at EIT InnoEnergy Master School as well. I was wondering if maybe it would be nice if you could share maybe some sort of like words of wisdom, certain things that you wish you knew before you were applying, maybe certain things that would make the process, or I don't know, decision-making process for the students who are applying for 2021 intake a little bit easier. And also maybe, okay, and also just to add to that, maybe some suggestion also for the students who wish to pursue renewable study in Europe. Why should students study renewables as well?
Well, I think the second question is easier than the first one. Basically, I think Europe will be one of the main drivers of the sustainable transition. It's one of the big economies in the world, and we see that the States right now are a little bit outside of this transition. So I think Europe is well, studying renewable energy in Europe is a really good opportunity. But of course, you have to choose wisely the program. And in this case, the good aspect of EIT programs is that they also offer you this innovation, this entrepreneurship mindset, entrepreneurial mindset that in Europe is not really characteristic. We don't see it everywhere here. But apart from that, and about the advice, well, I would recommend you that, of course, you have to study hard. It's a master's degree, so you will have to learn a lot of theory, a lot of new stuff. But don't forget the social aspect. That's probably the most important thing you will get from InnoEnergy Masters. Most of your colleagues will end up working in a good company in a good country. So at the end, you're starting to build your network right now in these years, and also try to participate in as many events as you can, because in there you meet also new people. You put yourself out of your comfort zone, and you start thinking differently, and that's all you will have to use once you are done with the studies.
Thank you, Mark. Emilia, Stephanie, who wants to go next?
Okay, I can go first. Or
Perfect.
Emilia. Okay, so for the first question, I think you need to know your why and try to make the most out of it. Like, know where you want to contribute after your study. But one thing for sure is you're on the right track in playing your role to tackle the climate challenge by pursuing your study with EIT InnoEnergy. Because here you learn so many things. Like Mark mentioned before, it's not only the study, it's also the social network and a lot of projects going on. So try to know what you really want and why you're here. As the second question, why renewable energy? Because I believe that renewable energy is one of the solutions to demystify the climate challenge from the supply side. And corporates, policymakers, educators, scientists, everyone is trying to solve this issue. So I think sooner or later, the financing and investment for renewable energy is gonna grow very high. So let's prepare for the future.
Thank you, Stephanie.
Yeah, I think my answer is actually pretty interconnected because like I myself like came to Europe because I saw Europe as like really like the place where like the change is really happening, and I feel like the challenges of like decarbonization and sustainability, they're being approached and they're being step by step like worked upon, and especially in countries like Sweden and Belgium where you can study with these InnoEnergy masters, there's like a very, I think, positive approach to these issues, to energy issues. So, and I think like going back to the first question about, you know, moving to a new place, like just don't be scared, because I think moving to like a new continent, new country sometimes can be very daunting and very scary, but it'll all work out, it'll all be fine, and you'll meet so many new people and have a great experience.
Thank you very much, Emilia. I think this is both Emilia, Stephanie, Mark, I think very valid points, and I hope that this kind of advice can help the students as well who are planning to apply next year. Now, I think what we'll do is we'll jump to the Q&A session now, but I was hoping that perhaps Emilia, Stephanie, Mark, that you can stay just shortly for the Q&A session, just in case, because I can see already there's questions coming in for you.
Yeah, no problem.
Yes, sure.
Perfect. In the meantime, I would just like to, while we're going through the questions, can everyone see my screen at the moment still?
No.
I couldn't.
Can you see it now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Yes.
So while I'm going to go into the questions, what I think also would be great just to mention to everyone that we do have, I'll get rid of that. We do have other events coming up as well. So if you're interested in a specific subject, so say Masters in Energy Storage or a Masters in Sustainable Energy Systems, or you would like to join Stephanie, who's going to run a session for our students from Indonesia, please have a look on our website and look at the events. We're continuously updating them, and I mean every day we're adding new events at the moment. Now let's go to the Q&A, and Emilia, actually the first question I have is for you, and it's about SENS. So the first question, just a moment. So how does the course content of SENS look like, and how much sustainability topics do you cover?
Yeah, I think this is a really good question. So at KTH, your first year, during the fall, you'll mostly take, I think, more like basic electrical engineering courses. So I took like electrical machines and drives, power electronics, and then we had also a few electives. And then the second semester, we did an industrial innovation project. So this is really a project where you work with a company on some sort of innovation project in like smart grids. So we worked with Vattenfall, which is like a major electricity utility in the Nordics, on a project regarding flexibility in the power grid. And then for your second year, it really depends on where you go. The course selection really differs. For me in KU Leuven, I can take basically any electives that I want related to energy engineering. So I'm taking a rather big mix. I'm taking like a course on optimization, but I'm also taking a course on like global development politics, energy law, electricity markets. I think KU Leuven has a really good mix. And KTH also has a lot of electives that you can take. Because even though you have to take those like basic electrical engineering courses, you still have a lot of electives to choose from to like reach your credits. So there's like courses in like wind energy, electricity markets, power system stability, more technical courses. There's a very good variety, I think.
Super, thank you, Emilia. The next question I have is for Javier. Javier, it's sort of two questions as well. One, can you please elaborate a little bit about student scholarships? And second is regarding degree. Is the degree you obtain the equivalent of a 2-year master's in engineering from a traditional university?
Yes, thanks a lot, Anna. So to start with the second question, yes. So basically, don't worry that, I mean, you're still going to get a master's degree equivalent to the countries that you are going to study in. That means every country has its own nomenclature and like the way they qualify the masters, but basically you're going to receive it an equivalent to the 2-year degree, which even grants you access to a PhD if that's your career path, for example. And then with regards to scholarships, indeed, I see many questions coming in about it. So basically, just to clarify, we have full scholarships with a grant, meaning that students will get some money from the EIT to support their studies, but these are very, very limited. I'm talking about 1 or 2 per program. And then we have also some 25 about full scholarships. That means that you don't have to pay anything. It's spread over the different programs, and you have to think that there's about 200 students every year, about 1,500 applicants every year. So that means you have to calculate your odds, of course. And then we have partial waivers, which means that you will get a discount. Partial waivers mostly of 8,000, so meaning you're going to pay 10,000, or of 13,000, so that means that you're going to pay 5,000. The last one is mainly reserved for students from top European universities who graduated from top European universities, including our partner universities. And that's, of course, a benefit we want to give students who come from these great institutions. Now, how does this work? You are considered for a scholarship during your application process, so you don't need to take any additional action for this. And we base the scholarship decision on the ranking that we do for every program. Of course, the chances of getting a scholarship for one program or another varies a lot because some programs have a lot of applications where other has still many but less. So I mean, that varies a bit. But just to give you an idea, the most popular programs to get in are the Masters in Renewable Energy and the Masters in Sustainable Energy Systems. Those get the most, the highest number of applicants. So of course, that means it's more difficult to get a scholarship.
Perfect, thank you, Javier. Grace, we now have a question for you for the Career Center, and this is the question about NGOs. So will students have an opportunity to cooperate with NGOs and have internships in Europe as well?
Yeah, in general, that would be possible. Of course, depending on the locations that you are at. But yes, we have received several internships and jobs from NGOs for students.
Perfect. Javier, a question just come in for you as well regarding a portal code. Can you please explain what a portal code is?
Yes, sure. So when you go to apply.innoenergy.com, you can create a profile to start your application. That means that you can start uploading documents, filling out the questionnaires, and so on. You don't need to finish it at once. You can save it and return afterwards. But at the beginning, you are one of the fields that you'll have to fill in is a referral code. It's non-mandatory, and this is mainly for students who are referred by some of our partners across the world. We work with many institutions across the world. So if you don't have a referral code, do not worry, just leave it empty and continue with creating your profile.
Thank you, Javier. Peter, are you with us still at the moment?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Perfect, because there's a lot of questions coming in for you about KU Leuven as well. So I'll just bundle them up a little bit together. So how many graduates from KU Leuven normally stay working in Belgium? And a little bit about accommodation in Leuven as well.
Okay, so first about the graduates. The thing is that we don't have data on that, unfortunately. Yeah, so I wouldn't be able to answer that question. I'm very sorry about that. My best guess is that if you're able to find a job, then it's rather easy to stay in Belgium, but I wouldn't know. I'm really sorry. And then the second question was about on the working here. We have a student career center, and I believe that they will be able to answer those questions. Maybe it is easiest if you just Google student career center, KU Leuven, obviously, KU Leuven Student Career Center, and just contact them and ask it. I think and I hope that they will have that data. And the second question was about housing, right?
Exactly, accommodation.
Okay, so there's, as mentioned, there's a lot of housing in the city of Leuven, a lot of student housing. It costs around, Emilia, if I'm mistaken, please do correct me, but it costs around 330 to 400 euros a month, depending on how many facilities you want. If you are living in a student room, student dorm with shared kitchen and shared bathroom, it will be around 350 a month. If you want your own private kitchen and bathroom, it can go up as high as like 450 a month. We have how you call it, a database from the university, which helps you to finding student accommodation. So you can look up some rooms online and contact the owner or contact university if it's a residence before you come to Belgium. Just Google KU Leuven housing and you will be able to find the website that I'm talking about. So I'd say because it's a university town, it's a little bit cheaper than most big universities, most universities in bigger cities. But it's definitely the city and the university try to make sure that the quality of the rooms is up to a certain standard. So it's not because it's a little bit cheaper that it's not good housing.
Excellent, thank you, Peter. Now I have a question for Mark. Mark, please don't be biased when you're answering this as well. So a student is asking, if I choose to do first year course in KTH and a second year course in Spain, where is the best place for me to find a job?
I don't know. I don't know what to answer. Actually, it depends on the master they are doing, because a lot of, I think, Sense and smart energy for smart cities, when you do the second year in Barcelona, they ask you to do an internship. So actually you can start working in a company as part of the internship, and then if you work properly, you can keep working on the same company. That's an option. But also, yeah, of course, I would tell you to build your network in Sweden, then go to Spain, start working in Spain. The lifestyle is really different between Sweden and Spain, so you just choose. I don't know. It's not up to me. I would prefer Spain, but just because I like this lifestyle.
Thank you, Mark. We always also suggest to students to do 1 year maybe in a colder country and then another year somewhere in a sunnier country as well, so they can experience both. Emilia and Stephanie, we have a question for you. It's a bit of a trick question. So the student is asking, everything seems amazing so far. What are the catch challenges?
Okay. You want to go first, Emilia? Okay. So for me, the challenge would be the external, because the weather in Sweden, it's very cold and it's very different from where I come from. But despite of that, I think so far it's really good. I mean, like, the experience is really good. The only thing that is disadvantageous for me is because of the weather. That's all. But then the fall is pretty, the spring is pretty. It's only the winter. That's for me.
Yeah, the winter in Sweden is very cold and cloudy and dark. But I think for me, it was actually also a time where I like really bonded with my friends, and you know, it gets better. But I think like another maybe hidden challenge would just be the logistical things of, like, you know, moving to a new country, setting up a bank account, getting a SIM card, and you know, like those little things add up. But they're important also to take care of wherever you move to.
And actually thank you, Stephanie, thank you, Emilia. Just to add, for everyone who plugged in to listen as well, Emilia actually produced with some of the students a very nice city guide for students arriving to Stockholm, which has a lot of small tips and handy suggestions. So if you're interested in receiving the guide for these for first-year university locations, please don't hesitate to contact us, because we have those produced by the students as well. Emilia and Stephanie, I have a lot of questions coming in for you at the moment. Would you also be able to talk a little bit about the split of EU, non-EU students at your programs?
Yeah, I would say in Sense, it's actually mostly non-EU. In my year, I think there were 21 of us in Sense, and there was around 6 Europeans, I think. And mostly everyone else was from abroad.
Okay, for me, when I was in KTH, the RENE student in KTH is around 13, and it's 5 of us are non-EU, and the rest are not the rest. Like the other 5 is EU, and the other 2 is American. So it's pretty mixed. But then, if we are talking about RENE in general, in total, it's around 55 of us, and around 10% to 15%. No, 25%, sorry, are non-EU to 30, 25 to 30.
Thank you, Stephanie. Thank you, Emilia. So I can see it like varies a little bit by the program. There is now a question coming in for Grace for Career Center. Grace, can you mention a little bit about the opportunities for students who are interested to study renewable energy and masters in sustainable energy systems? And can you please also mention if it's possible to work and study at the same time?
We have students who are working part-time, like we had Harsha supporting us. He was working around 2 days a week. And we have multiple students also within the community, for example, who are working part-time or several hours a week. So yes, it would be possible. And regarding the jobs, yeah, we have many opportunities. So as the companies you already saw, for example, on I think the second slide, like Vattenfall, Siemens, ABB. But if you want to check out our internal ecosystem, so the InnoEnergy startups, you would go to BC from business creation, so bc.innoenergy.com, and you can check out the portfolio. You can check and from different market segments, for example. So there you can find more companies, more startups related in your field of interest. So those we usually share their vacancies within our job board. And for the external companies, well, it would again depend on location and exact interest. But I think the business creation would be a good start to see what's in our ecosystem.
Thank you, Grace. Javier, a question for you. Do students require to select preferred university during their application?
Yes, they do. And actually, you have to choose your first and second priority for first year and second year university. And depending on the program, this is granted during the application process or during your studies. So for example, the Masters in Renewable Energy, you are allocated to your first year university. And then in the first semester of the first year, you can choose the second year university. For other programs, I believe you are allocated from the beginning. Maybe Emilia can confirm that for SENS, for example. I think you are granted the second year university from the moment that you start, correct?
In my case, I applied to actually a different university, and then I changed like halfway through my first year. But we just worked with our coordinator for that. I don't know if that will be the case again, but that was just the case for me.
Yeah, so that happens also, I know. So in some cases, depending on the program, you might even be able to change. In some cases, not. But you have to choose your preference when you apply, yes.
And Javier, just to follow up, there's a few more questions for you, a little bit about the application as well. How many students are accepted per program?
Wow, that varies a lot because every program has many different amount of applicants. So, for example, the most popular programs are renewable energy and sustainable energy system. We're talking about some 300, 400 applicants a year for groups of 50, 60, top 70 students in the case of renewable energy. Other programs have in the likes of 100 or 200 applicants for groups of like 25 or so. So then you can do your math, I guess. But of course, it also depends on the application round. Some application rounds have more applicants than others. Yeah, so, but I think as a rule of thumb, if you want to increase your chances, then apply earlier, as soon as possible, yeah.
Thank you, Javier. Stephanie and Amelia, a question for you, and I guess it's a bit of a follow-up on how logistics can be quite complicated. How do you change accommodation from first year to second year? Was it easy to find a second year accommodation? Do you get in touch with the students maybe who are currently studying at InnoEnergy and also moving to another country?
I think both years I went through the university accommodation service, so KTH accommodation. It was easy to apply, and it was a trusted place, and it was a very good apartment. And for my second year, I also went through the KU Leuven accommodation portal to find student housing, and it's also very good. But I think I did reach out to previous KU Leuven students. So actually, I do recommend doing that because it was very helpful to hear where they lived and what they thought. And I do recommend you looking at the InnoEnergy student ambassadors and seeing maybe if someone's in your location, just reaching out to them because I'm sure they'd be happy to help.
So for me as Rene student, we have friends in the other universities. So when we meet in Barcelona for ESADE school, we usually exchange the information about accommodation, about life and everything. So when I moved to the new country, it's just following to their directions, and also the respective school is very helpful, both from KTH and also ECO. Both of them are very comprehensive in telling in which accommodation we are able to live, and also the administration, they're very helpful as well. So I don't really find difficulty with accommodation, but for the other things like bank and everything, like Anna mentioned before, you can ask for help in this case as well.
Perfect, thank you both for clarifying as well. Now, I know that we're running out of time at the moment. I'm looking at my clock and I'm just thinking we probably just have one more question. So I'm just going through the order, and Grace, there's a question that came in for you. So the question is, would you say that students from master programs have the same chances to get the job after graduation? So it doesn't matter which master program you attended, you all have same chances? And also to add to that question, regarding female students as well, do you feel like the female students also have equal opportunities?
I do think that the most master programs would have equal opportunities, but it's also depending on what you're doing, like extracurricular activities, how active you are, if you're doing internships, if you're in contact with companies. So it's not just the master degree itself that decides if you can find a job easier than the other one. It's more on what you put into it next to your master program. And regarding females, I definitely think that they have equal opportunities. And in some cases, I've spoken to startups that are saying we're here with 5 male employees. We would love to have a female on board because we need the balance and we want to have more diversity in the team. But again, it's the same. If the female master student is not active besides the master program, is not involved in any extracurricular activities or whatsoever, it could be more difficult in finding a job for that person. So I think it's more important to focus on what you would like to do, what your preference is for the master program, and try to find activities and join our community and be active in this to raise the chances of finding a job faster.
Thank you, Grace. I think this is all that we have time for today. So I would like to thank everyone for joining us today. All the students who are thinking about applying, thank you for joining and listening to the webinar today. A special thanks to our speakers, our students and our graduates who also took time to present. I would like to just to mention that if you do still have questions, because I see there's still a lot of questions that are coming in, please don't hesitate to contact us on our website. We have study advisors that support our students. Their sole role is to make sure that all your answers, all your questions are answered, and the processes are clear and you have all the right information. So please don't hesitate to contact them. I hope the event gave you a little bit more of an understanding about EIT InnoEnergy and what being an EIT InnoEnergy Master student is like. So thank you everyone again for joining. We hope to see you next year for Intake 2021. Stay in touch, look at our other events, and have a lovely rest of the day, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Anna. Bye-bye.